President Trump said yesterday it was the calm before the storm as he met with senior military leaders. I'll roll that tape.
You guys know what this represents?
What else?
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
What storm, Mr. President? You'll find out. John Bolton's with us, former ambassador to the United Nations. He's laughing along with the rest of us. Have you any idea what the president might have meant by the calm before the storm?
No, other than it got a lot of attention for his dinner, that's for sure.
Well, was he referring maybe to North Korea? That's what a lot of people are thinking.
Well, there are a lot of options out there. Of course, there's the coming defeat of ISIS, but the continuing threat of Iran, both as a terrorist state and its nuclear program, North Korea, as you mentioned, the South China Sea, where China is building a new province, at least in their view, Russia interference in Eastern and Central Europe and the former Soviet Union. So there are a lot of potential flashpoints here, and I think it underlines just how dangerous a world is that we see.
But does he do this deliberately to keep our enemies on their toes, so to speak? Because you never know what he's going to do.
Well, again, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of focus is on the nuclear threats of North Korea and Iran and what we're going to do about them, or what we haven't done about them effectively for the past 25 years, leaving the decision really for this administration.
You really don't want to go there, do you? You do not
I have
want
no
to
idea.
speculate.
No, I'm happy to say I don't have the slightest idea what the answer to the question is.
That's the first time I've ever got that kind of honest answer from one of our guests. Excellent, Mr. Ambassador, just excellent. Now, I do want to talk to you about the situation in Catalonia. You know, maybe they're going to declare independence on Monday. The Spanish military is standing by for violence. It looks like another step in the breakup of the European Union. Would that be accurate, Mr. Ambassador?
No, actually, I don't think so. I think if you see these secessionist movements in regions all around Europe, if the nation states, members of the European Union, are broken apart, it doesn't make the European Union less powerful. It makes Brussels more powerful, because it's the nation states that can stand against the flow of power from national capitals to Brussels, breaking up Britain, separating Wales, Scotland, Catalonia in Spain, the Basque Country. I mean, you could go on and on and on here. These tiny little governments that would flow from it would be unable to withstand Brussels. And let's be clear, this secessionist movement in Catalonia is a distinct minority, and it's led by left-wingers. The referendum that they held a few days ago was illegitimate. The opposition boycotted it. I hope there's no violence. I'd like to see this resolved peacefully. But this is not a legitimate secessionist movement, in my view.
Do you think we'll now start hearing from other secessionist movements within Europe, very, very small groups of people who want out of their home country? I'm thinking maybe of northern Italy, for example. I'm thinking maybe of the Walloons in Belgium. I mean, this could really be the start of a splitting apart within the big nations.
Well, it's possible, but there's also reporting, and I think this is likely true, that in the rest of Spain, actually, nationalism has increased. And this tension with Catalonia, which obviously isn't new, has inspired a growth of Spanish nationalism. So I think it could have the opposite effect that we just don't know. It's too soon to tell. But let's be clear, the European Union project has had a clearly detrimental effect on the nation states in Europe. I think that's bad for Europe. I think it's bad for the United States, bad for the NATO alliance. And I'm afraid this Catalonia question is just one more example of what the European Union is doing.
Well, we'll be watching the news very carefully on Monday morning, see what happens over the weekend there. Mr. Ambassador, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.